Good evening, YouTube, social media world. Gordon Causey, aka Gordy Canuck, coming to you live once again from Little Brighton, Ontario, Eastern Ontario, about an hour east of Oshawa, in Eastern Ontario. Right now it is 11:40 p.m. on Saturday, January 29th. And I wanted to talk tonight about a tweet that Jagmeet Singh put out today. And I found his words to be very disturbing. Jagmeet Singh is the leader of Canada's NDP, New Democratic Party, the third largest party in Canada's parliament. Jagmeet Singh is a significant political figure in this country. And with that comes a responsibility. And I think the man did a huge disservice to his position as a political leader in this country. I'm going to read what he wrote, and then I'll talk about it. I've included the link below, and I've also cut and pasted the text so fact checkers can look back and see that I'm not speaking out of school. This is what he wrote. He tweeted this out today at 12:30 p.m. Today, we commemorate 5 years since a terrorist attacked and murdered Muslims in a Quebec City Mosque. We said never again. And today, Conservative MPs have endorsed a convoy led by those that claim the superiority of the white bloodline and equate Islam to a disease. That is repugnant. The protest taking place in Ottawa is for all Canadians, of every race, of every religion, of every creed. This has nothing to do with race. I understand politically what Mr. Singh is attempting to do. He opposes this rally. And so in an effort to delegitimize it, he wants to portray it as being white supremacist led. And the simple fact of the matter is, and I am so grateful for the fact that so many Sikhs have responded to that tweet, and you can go click the link, or if it's not a link, cut and paste it. You can go look at his tweet and you can read the replies, and a number of individuals who are Sikh have repudiated the NDP leader for his hateful language. Trudeau has done the same thing. And it is incredibly distressing to find a major political leader in this country playing this divide game. We have a rally taking place in Ottawa where that is incredibly unifying. We've lived for 2 years under soul-crushing emergency mandates with a carrot constantly being dangled in front of everyone's face. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We just have to keep settle things down enough so that our hospital system, our healthcare system isn't crushed. Well, maybe a mask, maybe that'll end it. And it's just constantly. And meanwhile, businesses are being destroyed, not just white businesses, people of black, white, brown, anyone who owns a business in this country. I should clarify. I mean, the Amazons, the Costco's, the Walmarts, the tobacco industry. They're essential. But someone owning a hair salon or an esthetician, nail salon, a gym, a dance studio, it's too bad to be you. So there's the economic impact. Beyond the economic impact, there's a huge mental toll on everybody. Everyone has been impacted mentally by this. Now, I can tell you for myself, I know a number of people who are not afraid of COVID. And so I can be social. And that is huge for a person's mental health. Talk to children. We've robbed children of their education, of socialization. And this is why you're seeing such an outpouring, why you're seeing so many people flocking to Ottawa. And in other cities across Canada now, there are protests going on, there are rallies, there are convoys, because people have had enough. And if you don't like it, Mr. Singh, all right, address the issues and stop playing the race card. I know as a white guy, I've been canceled. I'm a white Christian male and I'm old, 55 years of age, not a baby boomer, but that's another one. We divide racially, we divide by religion, we divide by demographic age. Are you Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z? Are you a millennial? Are you a boomer? We're Canadians. Whether we're Sikh or Muslim or Jewish or Christian or atheist or agnostic, we're Canadians. Stop playing this game, Mr. Singh. Stop trying to, I get it. You guys do your polling. You have your advisors. You sit in your office on Parliament Hill, and you can't join in, and you cannot support the truck drivers. You can't support them because too many Canadians are concerned. There's a significant portion of the voting bloc that you'll lose their support. We're seeing the Conservative, we're seeing Aaron O'Toole basically trying to suck and blow at the same time. He's trying to show support while at the same time, not supporting. And enough. I am so grateful that there are so many members of the Sikh faith who have called you out on this, because perhaps their voices will resonate more than mine, this old white guy in today's world where, everything's about identity, when it should be about content of character. It should be a discussion of ideas. And it shouldn't matter whether it's an idea being expressed by a man or a woman or gay or straight. Let's just talk about the idea and leave all that other garbage out of it. It's disgusting. There are a lot of Sikh truck drivers who are in Ottawa right now. And that's because Canada has a lot of Sikh truck drivers. And God bless you guys. Trucking, we have a significant shortage of truck drivers in Canada. And as often happens throughout Canada's long history, 150 plus years, we are a nation of immigrants, wave after wave after wave after wave. Some of my ancestors were Irish immigrants, and the Irish were not welcomed. And what happened with the Irish is the firefighters, for example, were often Irish if you went back 100 or so years ago, because at that time, the established Canadian population didn't want it. Firefighting is an incredibly dangerous job, a difficult job. There were a lot more fires back then. We didn't have fire extinguishers. We didn't have smoke detectors. Fires were much more common. And the Irish came in and they said, well, we'll take that. We'll take those jobs. And then when Canada was going through, went through waves of construction booms, a lot of Italians emigrated into Canada, and they established themselves in the construction industry. And now what's happening in Canada is we have, I believe it's somewhere around 500,000 members of the Sikh faith living in this country now. And many are gravitating toward the trucking industry. As I understand it, a number of transport companies are owned by members of the Sikh faith. And you have a wonderful religion, Mr. Singh, that I don't know a lot about the Sikh faith. I just know there are three main tenets, one being a devotion to God, another one being truthful living, call it integrity, if you will, having integrity, and third being a service to humanity. And that is being exemplified by the fact that there is a Sikh temple in Nepean, which is part of Ottawa, that has opened its doors to truckers to go in and wash up, rest up, get they're feeding people. You know, this is amazing. I was down in New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey, and I went down before COVID. I went down 2 or 3 years ago. It was the summer of 2019 or the summer, I think it was the summer of 2019. I went down to New Jersey, to the town I'd grown up in. And the hotel we were staying at had a number of Sikh guests, identifiable by the turban. And I remember remarking at the time, because I used to live in Toronto, and I've known a number of Sikhs over the course of my lifetime, and I have honestly never met a Sikh individual I did not like. Just warm, genuine, caring, polite. And while I was in New Jersey, I was thinking to myself that, because Sikhs identify themselves by the turban, because you can identify, someone's Sikh by the fact that they're wearing a turban. They're ambassadors, and they're wonderful ambassadors. I have yet to, I'm sure that there are bad Sikhs. I'm sure there are jerks out, among the who are members of the Sikh faith and who wear a turban. But I haven't met one yet. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that by putting that turban on, they're declaring their faith to the world, and they are ambassadors, and amazing. And I'll tell you something else, Jagmeet, Mr. Singh. I know a bit about the faith. I know that the turban is to be worn, and that a Sikh man is the hair is never cut, not the facial hair, not the not hair on the head. It's let to grow. It's to be kept clean, and it's to be covered at all times in public. However, there are exceptions to that, and obviously humanitarian exceptions. There was a case a year or so ago, I believe it was in Edmonton, I know it was in Alberta, where an individual had fallen through the ice, and there was a Sikh gentleman or two, and they took their turbans off to use as a retrieving device to help rescue. I believe it was a child who had fallen in the ice. And I've heard of other stories of a similar nature where Sikhs have used their turbans to bind wounds, to someone in a car accident or something, to put at the back of the head to provide some comfort. But I saw you in a French language interview, and you didn't remove it for humanitarian reasons. You removed it for political reasons. And I'll tell you something, sir. You have an awesome head of hair coming from this bald guy. I don't dislike you, Jagmeet. I dislike what you have said here because it's disgusting, and I'm calling you out on it. But I don't dislike you. I found it politically expedient for you to put away the tenets of your faith in an effort to get votes. I don't think that's being humanitarian. I don't think that's being integrity. You have an awesome head of hair. But that bothered me. I appreciate the fact that vous parlez français tellement bien pour un homme qui est trilingue. C'est incroyable. I saw you on Tout le monde en parle, which is everybody's talking. It's a French language current affairs show where they have guests on, and Jagmeet went on. And I'll say this, your French is absolument incroyable. Je pense que c'est supérieur contre moi-même. You're better than me. You're French. And hats off. I lived in Quebec for 4 years. You, of course, are working in Ottawa and in a very bilingual environment. But I tell you, but you need to come out and apologize for that remark. I support the truckers. I support the people gathering in Ottawa. And I'm not a racist. That bugs my beyond. So clean it up. You know, this is not political. Stop trying to wedge. It's disgusting. And you should be ashamed. That's my rant. So I'll leave it there. Go Ottawa. And again, I've said this before in a couple of my previous videos. Am I going to suggest that there isn't a single individual who has racist inclinations or is even overtly racist in Ottawa? Are there none? No, that's garbage. That's ignorance. Of course there are. There are some. There was a gentleman, or rather, there was a truck. I don't know who was driving the truck, but there was a truck that, I've mentioned this before, was flying a Confederate flag, and someone took a picture of the truck, and they try and use that to paint everybody. You know, and this is the game that Mr. Singh, leader of our NDP, is trying to play as well. And call it out. Call it out. And please, everyone in Ottawa, be peaceful, be loving, be caring. Take a page from the Sikh faith. The 3 core tenets, as I understand them: a devotion to God, truthful living, have integrity, and service to humanity. No violence, no hatred. Let's celebrate our Constitution. Let's celebrate our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Let's celebrate that we are a country that recognizes the rule of law. And let's repudiate hate and repudiate violence. And let's come together. And I'll leave you there. God bless. And Jagmeet, clean it up and apologize. Good night, all.